Tasneem.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh.
Now tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Tasneem. I'm 36 this year, and I started Fika 9 years ago. We started with Fika, and now I have a bakery called Conditori. It's an artisan bakery, and I have Lickety, which is a waffles and ice cream store right next to each other. So yeah.
Okay, so now what made you started the very first restaurant, cafe, Fika?
I started it 9 years ago, and before that I was a graphic designer for 8 years. So it was presented to me as an opportunity from my father. So my dad decided to bid on the location, which is now here at H.E.R. It's 3 shop houses, and he thought it was a really great location. So I thought, yeah, you know, it's a cool place, and let's try something new. So he goes, what should we do? So I thought, okay, since F&B is a great industry to go into, because there's service, which is people are my favorite thing, and there's food, which is my other favorite thing. So those things are my passion, and I thought, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
So the Swedish bit of it is because my husband's Swedish, and when he moved here, there weren't any Swedish places to eat.
Right.
And also not halal. So we thought, let's do a halal Swedish restaurant. And so that's how it started. So it wasn't a big grand idea or anything of that sort, but it was something that was very gradual.
I see. So what motivated you to start a business when it's like so comfortable working for people, right? You get a consistent pay,
Right.
you know.
Right. I think it's my personality as well. I'm better off being my own boss. I'm not very good at listening to people. I'm not very great at following orders. So I think that is one of the reasons why. But I'm also always up for a challenge. I think at the end of the day, it's always learning something new that excites me. So there's something I've never done before. Oh, let's do it. Always trying to prove to myself that I can do something new, and excited to learn new things.
I see. So who were your mentors in your business?
So when we first started, my father was always the one I look up to.
Right.
And he's always, even though while he was working for the airline, he was always doing something on the side, like selling something. And we were always there when we were young, helping out. And we saw how that drove him, and the passion he had for that. And I really appreciated that experience as well. So I saw how that really makes you a good person, a better person, and I
see. So what are the top 3 challenges that you face as an entrepreneur?
As an entrepreneur, it's always dealing with people, the managing, the hiring of them, and then it's keeping relevant. I think always, it's been 9 years, we always have to step it up and do something new. And the third one is not being able to follow trends. Because we are a very niche. We have a very niche cuisine that we offer.
Yes.
So we can't really quite follow like onde trend, or the salted egg yolk trend, or colorful trend, or whatever trend, because it doesn't go with our branding. Yes. So these are the challenges. But I find with challenges, you're always presented with an opportunity to be creative.
Right. I see. So there are many retailers that come and go very often that you see. So how do you ensure the sustainability of the business?
By being present. I think it's important that the owner always is present and shows the staff, I guess, the passion and the drive and the vision, and shares it with them. Also to always stay true to your branding. When you do that, people believe in your brand as well, and they don't get a bit confused. So staying to it, that, let's say for example with Swedish, we don't do anything that's like fusion, or we don't have spicy food, or because we want it to be authentic, and I think being authentic is important.
I see. Okay, so what are the drivers to the growth of the company?
Drivers to growth in the company. Failures, I feel, are stepping stones. Obstacles, stepping stones, and I think those are the driving forces. Because when you get comfortable, you don't do anything exciting, or you're not pushed to be bold, you know.
Yeah.
So when you're given an obstacle, you're like, let's just do it because we need to do something, right? Do something. And I think that's when you're driven, I feel. So when you are given an obstacle, then it's an opportunity to say, hey, we need to do something. And that drives the business as well to a different level. So I would say those are good drive. Yeah, and our competitors are as well good drivers.
I see. Okay. So you mentioned that manpower was actually one of the challenges that you face. So what do you look out for when you hire good talent?
Oh, that's a good one. One is, I feel we always must remember to go with to acknowledge your gut feeling. That's one. That's always true, I find.
You don't look at paper quality.
No, I don't. I'm trying to be as un-Singaporean as I can when it comes to judging people. It's tough because I always tell myself not to judge people right at the cover, but how else do you do it? Unless, of course, you give them a trial. But I judge them by personality. My first judgment is whether how they reply to the emails when you get them to come in. The kind of person they are they resourceful? Can they find their way here? These are the first few things before I even interview them. How do I get to your store? Well, then you're not very resourceful. Don't show up or show up late. Can I make it another day? Something comes up. That's always the case. Something came up. I'll have to change. No, I don't need you. So these are all factors that are more important, I feel. The attitude, the personality, the passion. These three things I find are the most important, more important than your qualifications or paper qualifications, or experience,
Right.
Because with these things you can be the best, I find. Yeah.
Okay. And what is your advice to aspiring women entrepreneurs?
To entrepreneurs that are not mothers, well, there are two, right? I mean, it's always people ask me, as a mother and I don't believe in the word mompreneur. I don't know what that means. I'm a mom, yes, and an entrepreneur, yes, but I'm not a mompreneur. I don't know what that means. So, as an entrepreneur, I would say to believe it's okay to doubt yourself, and it's okay, but always at the end of the day, believe that you can do it. That's the thing about me. Sometimes I find it's a problem. I'm sometimes overconfident, and I go, yeah, of course I'll get the job when I go for an interview. And I think that's a good way to go into it. It's
optimistic.
Yeah, be kick-ass,
Yeah.
Do it. I mean, it's so easy now to learn new things. You go online and you Google it. I'm like, what's so difficult?
Yeah.
So I think that should always be your attitude. Yeah, of course I can do it. And then you learn. I mean, so always just say yes first, and then you figure it out later, right? Yeah, okay, I'll do it. Like this, for example. and then the other thing about being a mom and also having to run a business is, I feel, then again, also it's in yourself. Not to feel guilty. Don't let other people guilt trip you into feeling whatever it is. Being a mom is very much like believing in a religion. It's very personal, and nobody is allowed to judge how you are a parent. And nobody's allowed to say, how can you open more stores and your poor children are at home? And I said, because it makes me happy. And then when I'm happy, I'm a better mother.
Yeah.
So it's okay for people to judge, and you can't control what people think. And it's always just how I tell I raise my children as well. I don't tell them. I tell them not to try and control what people do, but rather to control how you react to people. So I think that is the stem of it now that I'm trying. I think it's a journey for me now that I'm trying to work on. It's the believing in yourself,
right,
and also to be more mindful and to be very aware of your surroundings. I think I'm rambling, but
good. Thanks for sharing.
No worries, but yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you'd like to meet Tasneem, who's the owner of Fika, meet her up close and personal. She's really a go-getter. Okay, and we'll see you at the H.E.R Asia Summit on the 1st November. Thank you.